I think about small business and I think about communities, and small business is the lifeblood of the community. And progress in small business in black communities is what we need to strive for to make gains. But so far, while there has been some, it's really tough to move the needle. Hard to really see that it's moved at all for a lot of reasons. And can you go over both the hurdles and what you see as solutions to those hurdles?
Sure. Well, again, thank you for having me. And this is an important topic, I think, as we recognize Juneteenth today. And I think all of America has had a history lesson. Tulsa is just one of many examples where Black businesses have been the cornerstone of our communities, and in many cases, the cornerstone of larger communities. And we consistently, though, have faced these hurdles of lack of access to capital. The percentage of Black businesses that receive PPP is minimal and should be embarrassing. And part of that is because of structural barriers in the system, that we lack bank relationships, and not because we're not qualified, but there are no banks in some of our neighborhoods. And the initial PPP program did not support CDFIs, community development financial institutions, which is where we find ourselves, or alternative lenders. We also know that pattern recognition in the venture capital space is significant. I feel more comfortable because I look like you, because I know where you went to school, because I know the golf club you hang out, and we're not there. Oftentimes because we're working 2 to 3 jobs or running a business that literally takes all of our time and doesn't allow us to have the same social capital, but we do have social capital within our community. So I would say that the 3 of the biggest hurdles are lack of access to capital. I would say lack of support from investors and the belief in our ability to beat entrepreneurs. And then I would say all the other kind of non-financial barriers of poor educational opportunities in our communities and the like, that all lead up to lack of access for us in the same trajectory that many white businesses have.
You point out family connections, alumni networks, all of this brings capital more easily to people that have those. And then indirectly, Black founders don't have these so-called accelerator programs where, they got to pay for lawyers, they got to pay for credit, they got to pay for Google credit. So to launch a business is more difficult, costs more money. So you have difficulty getting capital, and you actually need more capital to launch a successful business. But you point out the metrics that show that once launched, you might have a better chance with one of these companies and with a company that easily does get funded.
Absolutely. As a professor, I did research 2 years ago that showed that it costs at least $250,000 more for a Black entrepreneur to start the same exact business as their white peer, for the very reasons you mentioned. We have lawyers, but we don't necessarily have big Silicon Valley term sheet driven lawyers. And so we pay for those. If you're not in an accelerator program, which oftentimes you're excluded from because you don't have a team, then you don't get the ad credits that oftentimes help subsidize your marketing costs. And so it's a huge hurdle that we have to deal with. And I think the challenge, though, as always, is that Black entrepreneurs, just like the Black community, is resilient. In reality, Great Depression, we outperformed white businesses by over 30%. So I think that there's a level of resilience and intellectual capacity and social capital that looks different that allows our businesses to be successful. But let's not be mistaken, without those infusions of capital, we don't reach the same level of scale. Black women, as you mentioned at the intro, are starting businesses 6 times faster than the white male peers, but we're handicapped without those social capital networks and access to capital and just access to other institutions that could accelerate, as they say, our progress. And so our progress is slower, but we get there, as evidenced by those entrepreneurs that were in the opening clip and their resilience and how they're serving their community.